and welcome back to On The Collect with me, Jace, and to the, I think it's the third outing of the Haunt vlog here. And I'm doing this Haunt vlog really to cover the last video I did, which is the Tarantula Diaries, which is a whole new section that I've started, and to give a bit more information into sort of why and what's going on and everything else with the channel. Because I thought quite a few of you might just be wondering, and I thought I'd just do this video and it might answer all of your questions. If it doesn't, you know the score, just show it in the comments below. Anyway, yeah, basically, I've been thinking about this for a while, quite a while actually. Now, I need to wind the clock back about 5-6 years, well maybe a bit longer than that actually. Now, for those of you who don't know, I kept tarantulas for about 12 years or more, and I loved it. I absolutely loved doing it, and it wasn't my choice to stop doing it. Now, what happened was, I need to sort of go into a little bit about tarantulas, so you'll have to bear with me on this. Now, tarantulas fall into two main groups, New World and Old World. Now, the Old World tarantulas are the ones that come from Africa and Asia and Australia. These tend to be the ones that are somewhat smaller as a general rule, but far more fast and aggressive and with a more potent venom. Now, the New World tarantulas all come from South America. Now, the New World tarantulas are the ones which are colloquially known as bird eaters. That's generally the name that's given to them. The African ones are known as baboons. And the ones from Asia, such a cool name, earth tigers. Oh yes, I've got a lot of those coming. Now, I ended up sort of stumped, whereas I did have, I think I had one African species. I had one baboon species, which was an Idiophyllmera. And I had several Asian species, although most of them were the Poecilotheria family, the ornamentals, beautiful spiders. And I'll put a picture up of my big female subfuchsia I had. She was lovely and ever so, she was really docile, especially for an Asian arboreal. She really was. You could just let her sort of walk out the tank while you did any tank maintenance, and you could just tap her and she'd go back in. She was fab. Yeah, one or two others, but mainly I had all New World species. Now, the New World tarantulas, they tend to be, as a rule of thumb, a lot bigger. Certainly some of the biggest spiders in the world are all found in South America. But their venom potency isn't that high at all. But what they do have as a primary defence is they're able to kick hairs off their abdomen. These things are called urticating hairs. Now, some people have terrible reaction to these. They are highly irritant, and they differ in different species. The Theraphosa blondi, which is the true Goliath bird eater, I had a huge female. Incidentally, I've got at least two coming. I'm probably going to buy some more of them. I basically stumbled into keeping mainly a genus from South America, which is called the Pamphobetus. Now, I'd seen a picture of a mature male Ecuadorian Pamphobetus. Now, the Ecuadorian male pamps, when they fully mature, go these incredible purples and pinks. I'll put this collage I've put up now are all mature males that I had. Now, believe it or not, these are all different species. They're not all the same species, but they're all from Ecuador. And they only do this with the male. Only the males do this. There's a couple of pictures there with actually where I was pairing, so you might be able to see the female. The female's just a dull brown. Now, it's only the males that get this beautiful coloration, and they only get it when they've fully matured. And my thinking behind this, my philosophy behind why they do this, is the fact that once the males mature, they have to go walking off across the jungle floor or wherever they live, rainforest or whatever part of the country they live in, Ecuador, looking for females. And whereas some of you might be terrified of giant spiders, where they live, all they are is a giant walking male. And like I say, their venom potency is pretty weak, and these urticating hairs is their primary defence. So my belief why they go these bright colours is almost like a double bluff, because in nature, whenever an animal is supremely coloured like this and basically is out in the open, it's because it's like a way of saying, you really don't want to eat me, I'm toxic, I won't taste very nice at all. And I always believed that was the reason behind it, and came sort of quite fairly well known as being the Pampho guy, because I had so many. I had quite a few hundred of them, and I also bred them as well, and I had some successful breeding from them. I'll put some pictures up of the babies now. Incidentally, they might look like they're toxic. They're not toxic, because spiders aren't poisonous. Tarantulas aren't poisonous. They are, however, venomous. It's a little peeve of mine when people get them the wrong way around. There is a difference. And the best way to remember it is, I always think, I can't remember who told me this, or where I read this, venom is injected, poison is ingested. And I always say a good way to look at it is you wouldn't point at a bright red mushroom and say to someone, don't eat that, it's venomous. So yeah, that's the key thing. Poison and venom, two different things. Tarantulas, all tarantulas are venomous, because I know a lot of people always ask me that. are these spiders venomous? Yes, they are. Because I basically kept them all in here and I bred them, and I was always, because I had so many, I was having to feed and do rehousing, or I was having to do tank maintenance pretty much every single day. So lids were off tanks every day. Basically, this whole room was filled with urticating hares. And over the years, even though they didn't bother me, some people come out in terrible rashes, they itch terrible. Some people just can't keep them because of this. It never really bothered me. However, I did start noticing that I was sneezing a lot, and my eyes were getting really, I was incredibly. I couldn't sit here and watch telly at night. My eyes were so sore towards the end. And at first I ignorantly believed I was getting hay fever because we got some rapeseed fields over the back there, and I just thought it was that. But then when I was sort of sat there in the middle of winter sneezing, sore eyes, nose streaming, I've had to admit to myself, I think this is the tarantula hair. I'm just sat breathing it in constantly when I'm at home. So I had to make the awful decision to start selling and giving away my tarantula collection, and it was a few hundred at that point. I think over the 12 years, I don't know exactly how many, but it's certainly in excess of 600 spiders I had come through my care in that time. And incidentally, that's not a huge number compared to some tarantula collections. I had to step out of keeping spiders, and it's something that's left a void in my life, if I'm being honest, in the 5 years that I've been away from it, and I hated it, and I've fought against doing it, and this is why I started then collecting the hot toys, and then I fell into the statues, and most of you on this channel will know the story ever since. But it was sometime last year I started seriously thinking about getting back into tarantulas, because I was thinking, well, the African and the Asian ones don't have the urticating hairs. They're faster and technically more dangerous, but they don't have the urticating hairs. So you'll probably be all right with them. Even though my experience is in the Pamphos and the Xenethus and the Theraphosas, all from South America, I had some Asian arboreals, and I had a baboon. I'd had a couple of baboons, actually, thinking about it. And the last few months I've been seriously considering getting back into the hobby, and what made it more exciting was I knew I'd be keeping species of spider that I've never had before, so it'd be back to being a bit of a learning curve. And then I saw a video on a guy, I think he was in America actually, who's got this incredible Montroceptus balfouri commune, and I just thought, and I can remember thinking, this was when I was really in the glut of my statues, and I still got loads to come, and I thought that would be the best display piece ever. That would be the best, a living display piece. Get a beautiful glass tank made, a terrarium made, for solely for the purpose of keeping a commune. Get a huge piece of driftwood in the middle and set all the desert looking area around it, and then you've just got this 20 odd spiders living there, tarantulas living in there with these huge, they make these immense webs. It looks incredible, and all I could think was the start of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that was it. The seed was set then, in all fairness, and that was when I started thinking about it. And as it got that more and more of my statues has arrived, and certainly the turn into this year, I started noticing that things seemed quiet in the statue hobby for a start, and they are. It really does seem to be a huge downtrend, and I've done videos on what's going on and why and everything else. And so there was that. There was the fact that, as I've said many times before, I'm not a conveyor belt of statues coming in and out of this house. I buy pieces that I love, adore, and want to keep, and that's the end of it. So I knew there was going to be a finite number of statues coming. Now, and I'm doing the Lego pieces, and I've really enjoyed buying the Lego stuff again and collecting Lego. And in all fairness, I think the toy cupboard is going to turn more into a Lego shop window, because I'm just loving the Lego so much. And again, that's something I used to do before and during when I kept tarantulas. And yeah, and it's all about content. And I thought to myself, either I'm going to have to scrabble to do videos where maybe I'm going over old ground again, or I'm discussing statues I've already got, and sort of just trying my best to keep pumping out videos. And it's difficult sometimes to come up with fresh new ideas of what to talk about and what to do, especially when you're tied to just one topic. And the hard fact was, from doing it from keeping tarantulas previously, I know how massively interested people are in them. Even people who are petrified of them are interested. And I was at work just last week, and we got some contracts on site, and some came in the control room to see me just because they'd heard I kept tarantulas, and I thought, that's it. People want to know. As far as the channel's concerned, I know over a period of time it's going to potentially pull in a lot of new subscribers. I'm aware that some of you who are here for statues aren't going to be interested in that. That's okay. You don't have to watch them. That's why I'm segregating all the videos. The same as a lot of people who will come here for the tarantulas aren't necessarily going to be interested in the statues. And they're still coming. Incidentally, I've got something coming from Weta. I have no idea what it is, guys. I'm not going to look any more into it. I know it's been shipped. It's on the way. So I'll be doing an unboxing on that one soon. And I don't know what's in the box. So that'll be so there's still pieces coming. The alien piece is still coming. I've got the piece from Sideshow coming. I've got, what else is there? Oh, the Witch King. So there's still statues coming. But there's now going to be clear, separate topics running along side by side that I'm going to do. In all the years I collected and kept and bred tarantulas before, the 12 plus years, I never once had a tarantula order to the magnitude of the one I've got coming next week. Just to sit and tell you what I've got is going to be a sizable video. So the housing and setting the houses up and going through all that, it's going to be at least 3 or 4 videos at least, and a lot of work, and they're arriving when I'm on my nights next week as well. So there's a huge amount of coming next week in relation to the Tarantula Diaries. I'm guessing at least 4 or 5 videos. You'll want to check back in for that just to see the immense number of tarantulas I've got coming, and I've got a couple of shout outs to make in that video as well. Already been very impressed by one of the companies that I'm buying from, by their generosity, but I'll talk about that more in the next video, but thank you to them. You know who you are if you're watching. Anyway, I'm kind of not sure. I don't want to go too in depth with this. I could go far more in depth. I think, as you've already seen, I could just keep going and talking about these. That's it, really. As always, guys, you know, if you've got anything you want to ask, just shove it in the comments or message me or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And like I say, there's a lot going to be coming in the Tarantula Diaries, and I hope that most of you, if not all of you, will give it a chance and view it. I know a lot of you have done already. Even some of you said you don't like spiders, you've still watched, and a lot of you are really pleased that I'm doing this, and that's great. Honestly, I can't begin to tell how grateful I was to some of you commented, and you were all behind this new topic that I've introduced to the channel, because it's something that I absolutely love. I loved keeping spider, and I've missed having them so much. I'm gonna shut up now, guys, and the next video, well, like I say, I've got something coming from Weta, so, and I don't know what it is. So there's a Weta unboxing coming. There's there's a colossal tarantula unboxing. Well, there's 2. It's coming from 2 different places. 2 enormous orders. I've got equipment coming. I've got terrariums coming, and arboreal enclosures coming. I've got a huge vivarium being made for my Balfouri commune. I've got so many tarantulas coming. Have a guess if you can think and guess how many you think I've got coming in the 2 orders next. I've already got 10 here. How many more do you think I've got coming? Yeah, be interested to see how close you get. So that's it for this video, guys. As always, if you've enjoyed it, really appreciate you. Click the like button if you haven't here and you haven't done so already. I really would appreciate if you also consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, if there's anything at all, just shove it in the comments below, and I'll get back to each and every one of you. I hope you all have a great weekend ahead. I'm going to go now, and yeah, I'll catch you all on the next video. So cheers for watching. I've just noticed I've got a brew there. I thought my mouth was dry, but thinking I've been rabbiting for a while. Cheers for watching. Have a great weekend. It's a lovely day. It's a lovely day out there. And I'll see you all on the next video, which will probably be in sort of 3 or 4 days, I'm guessing. So until then, take care of yourselves, and cheers and ta-ra.